Recording.
All right, well, thank you so much for being here. Eric and Robin asked me to speak about sponsoring. And just to give you a little background, I've been in Premier 19 months now. Joined at the same time as Katie. It was so amazing that to observe Lindsay. I signed up to be a jeweler, and I had never been to a jewelry show before. I'd never even been to like a Pamper Chef or any other direct sales kind of show because I'm cheap. I don't do those things, and they're all overpriced and a waste of time. So I signed up to be a jeweler, but I didn't see my neighbor, and I'm like, I think I need to go and see what I got myself into. So I went to the show, which was so neat, that Lindsay did at Katie's house, and then Katie and I signed up to be jewelers at the same time. So it was so awesome. Here we are sharing our testimonies. But at the end of 2010, yes, I joined in June of 2010. My husband and I, we were very tired. We were very sick of Premier. I had done 30 OPs. I had sponsored one person. And I was just ready to quit and give up. And 1 year ago today, we're driving here, Kevin and I were like, you know, 1 year ago today, we were starting Leadership Club, and we had 1.5 jewelers. So we were very tired, and you know, something I was doing wasn't working. So I'm like, you know, 30 OPs, something is not working. And when you have some things you're doing and you're not seeing results, something's not working. So you got to examine and change and kind of refocus. So I saw this awesome quote from Michelle Obama that I shared when I talked about this. Some of you have heard this already, sorry. I'll try and spice it up just a little bit more. But I love what she says, and I'm not trying to be political here. Kevin's like, you're quoting politics? No, I'm not. Whoever would have said this, I would have quoted it, but Michelle Obama has some great wisdom for us, and here it is. She says that you have to practice success. Success doesn't just show up. If you aren't practicing success today, you won't wake up in 20 years and suddenly be successful, because you won't have developed the habits of success, which are small things like finishing what you start, putting a lot of effort into everything you do, being on time, treating people well. And you know what my favorite 2 words are in that whole entire quote? Anybody want to take a guess? No. I need to work on that more, you're right. Small things. Because I don't know about you, but when I see small things, I can do small things. You can do small things. We can all do small things. So Eric and I asked me to think, what were some of the small things that I did to kind of refocus and change my 30 OPs in one jeweler? So I want to talk to you about kind of 6 of them. So the first one is things that my husband and I did. I got rid of the I can't attitude. I can't sponsor. I've done 30 OPs, and my husband kept telling me, you cannot go out there with that attitude, with that thinking. You kind of just have to take your focus off yourself. You can't think about your fears or the things you think you're failing at or the things you think, you know, your misjudgments about people and everything. You can't focus on yourself. You just got to kind of take the focus off yourself and really focus it on other people, especially that attitude of, I can't do that. I'm to this, or I'm to that. And I just love it. I think it's 2 Timothy. God did not give us a spirit of power, but a spirit of love. Or no, God did not give us a spirit of fear, but a spirit of power, of love, and of self-discipline. And you talk about self-discipline, and I love that. And then Philippians 4:13, I think it is, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So I had to surround myself with positive things like the Bible, like my time with the Lord each day. And I don't know what your ideas are, but I can't go to rally, or I can't sponsor, or I can't book shows. You really have to change that, because Lindsay and Rob always say, whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, either way you're right. So also, when we say those things, I can't do this, I don't have the ability to do that, then we are telling God that we doubt His power to work in our lives, and we are closing the door to God's blessings in our lives, and we don't want to do that. So my husband encouraged me to write down some of these thoughts you're feeling, these frustrations that you're having, and then give yourself permission to not think about them anymore. And then you can look back in a few months, and he had me do that. And he pulled it out recently, remember that, honey? And he and I were laughing our heads off at what I wrote down. But at the time, we were not. So if you're not laughing your head off right now, write some of your frustrations down, because you just might in a few months do that. So I think that's all I want to say for that one. The next one, number 5, that was number 6. Get rid of the I can't attitude. Number 5, you have to, I'm going down, sorry. You have to persist, and you have to keep doing what you know is right, even when it's tough, even when you go through trials, even when you have tons of cancellations or really low retail. My August was the low retail of this century. And even when things are tough, you still have to do what's right. And I don't know about you, but James 1:22 in the Bible tells us, don't just be hearers of the word, be doers of the word as well. And that, I think, is really, really hard to do when you're going through a tough time. So I just want to encourage you, whether you have a relationship with the Lord or not, that's okay, but get into this good Bible. This is not the Bible, this is a devotional filled with Bible verses, but get in there and spend time each day with the Lord. And then do what the Bible says. Because you know what? God will bless your business. He tells you that He will bless your business if you are doing what He wants you to do. So just follow the word, spend a few minutes each day or more. And also, it's kind of similar in our business. Don't just hear these great things that you're supposed to do. Get home and do them. Take action. I think you talked about that too. Faith without action is dead. But you know that a business without action is also very, very dead. So you have to be doing things. You have to be very active, even when it's tough. I had new jewelers that were rejected for the Premier Cut. I had like 3 in a row. I'm like, what's going on with that? My August was low retail. And then we had our 3rd child this past July. And everything was great and fine until she was born, and she had some severe issues. And then she was rushed to the NICU the next day. And it was so very hard. And I was in the NICU for those 5 days, and Kevin's getting ready to go to rally without me. And it was really tough for me, but I worked hard in that NICU to try and book shows and share the business, and it didn't go real well because moms in the NICU, can you believe it? They do not want to have jewelry shows. But I was trying, I was working, I'm making those every opportunity, and that was really hard, but I think I learned that even when it's tough, you still have to work your best. You still have to do what you know is right. And sometimes, I have no idea, but sometimes we go through trials because there's something God isn't liking in your life, and you have to go through that trial so that He can cleanse you and you can learn that thing and improve in your relationship with Him. Not all the time. Sometimes Satan may be testing you because you are doing what's right, you are following the Lord, and Satan doesn't like that, so he's working overtime on you. Sometimes the only way you're going to grow and build your business is by going through a tough time. And we had a great pastor at our old church tell us in one sermon, my husband, I never forgot this, that God is far more interested in your growth as His child than in your comfort as His child. So if you are sitting here thinking, I'm really uncomfortable in Premier Designs right now, that is a good thing because God is probably working like crazy in you. So I think, yes, we talked about that. Number 4, you have to be very selective in what you say yes and what you say no to. I loved it. Joni was here in October, and she did a great talk on balancing. And if you haven't listened to that yet, you owe yourself 20 minutes to listen to what she had to say. So some of these are from Joni, so I'm giving credit where credit is due because Joni was wonderful. But she said, run every decision you make in your life through what's best for your family and what's best for your business. And that is so true. You are going to have to say yes to some good things in order, so you're going to have to say no to some good things in order to say yes to some things in your business. And later on down the road, you're probably going to find you're going to be able to say yes to a whole lot more things. But at the start, you might just have to say no to some things. Because you know how it goes when, especially women, we're doing so many things. We got our plate spinning, Joni mentioned, and you've got everything going on. So in January last year, I had to clear my calendar. Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursday evenings, I'm open to do jewelry shows. Once in a while, 1 or 2 weekend shows per month. And Wednesdays used to be my Bible study night. I did lead a Bible study for a few months through my church. And then I don't know how it all happened, but now my husband and I, we get massages every Wednesday night because we have us time, me time. So he can take his massage and I watch the kids, and then we switch. I get my massage and he watches the kids. So we take care of ourselves. So yeah, we went from Bible study Monday night to that. I'm not sure I'm teaching you a doctorate here, but but that's kind of how we did it. We looked at Premier being more of our mission together, and we did say no to some things at church. And I'm not telling you to go home and don't be involved in your church, because I don't believe that's right either. We're still involved in our church, just in different ways. And you know, we looked at each other like, you know, we're doing far more to tell others about the wonderful news of God's salvation than all of our involvement in church. You know, you want to make a difference, get into people's homes through Premier, and you're going to see, you know, lives being changed. So we felt like, you know, our mission is more in here than even in our own 4 walls in our church. And there I want to talk to, especially the women, about our identity. Because I think, especially, I know we have a lot of moms sitting out there, and not everyone is, and that's okay. But as women, I think it's so easy to find our identity and all these roles that we play. And I just want to remind you that your identity is first and foremost as a child of the risen King. We are first a disciple of Jesus Christ, and then we're a mom, and then we're a jeweler, and then we're a wife. But don't ever forget where your identity is, because we're all made in the image of God. Whether or not you know that, you are. So just keep that in mind. You know, it doesn't really, your identity isn't, oh, I did this many Jewish shows, I sponsored this many people, oh, I did this for my kids, oh, I did this for my friends' kids. Your identity is first and foremost in the Lord. And you know what? I am not on every single committee at my daughter's school. I do not do a ton of things. My husband and I, we were teachers for 8 years, or he's still a teacher. I was a teacher for 8 years. And we talk about helicopter parents. And maybe you're a helicopter parent. We are not helicopter parents because we saw too many of them, but we are not all involved in every single thing. Now, be good parents, be involved, but keep in mind that when you're raising your children, we are raising them so that they make really great choices when we're not there. So it's okay to give your children some opportunities to make some great choices when you're not there. Now, before I did Premier, I was teaching. I was working 50, 60 hours a week, and I was never there for my kids, and that wasn't healthy. But I love that Premier still gives me an opportunity to go, and my kids know how to survive, even without their mom there. And they know how to go about life. So I'm still a good mom, I feel like, even though I'm not in every single thing in my children's school. And I'd like to think I'm an okay wife. we'll see about that. But, and you know, I'm still a Christ follower, even though I'm not doing every single thing at church, and I'm not the one that's saying yes to every single thing at church. So, I just want to mention that there. Number 3, we made Premier our family business and our family mission. And if you have a family today, I just encourage you to include them in your business. And I know some of you don't have the support that I have from my husband. You know, things changed. He went to Rally last year. He really got on board. But even if you don't, you still can pray about that, and you still can drop seeds. You can still tell your husband, hey, do you want to come to training with me tonight? I mean, you can still do those things, and don't get mad or bitter or angry at him when he says no, and don't nag him. I mean, I'm not the best one to tell you not to nag, because my husband's sitting over there, and he'll laugh. When we made it our business, our family mission, I got my husband involved in OPs. Now he closes out my shows, because then he can talk to every single hostess and close them out and give them their free jewelry and thank them for helping us out in our family business. He comes to trainings. He's going to Rally when he can get work off. Your family can serve together. My daughter, she's 5 now, but starting at 4, those mini baby purses from the incentive stores, they went on sale. We got over 100 of them. And they all came in little packaging, and she sat down and she was opening those purses for like an hour because she can help with the family business because she gets benefits from it. We get to take tax-deductible vacations, which is really awesome. And my husband and I, we get to get away together for awesome things in Premier that we never have been able to do before. So use Premier with your spouse as you can get some time away because that's healthy, that's good. And it's great, too, to get away with girls. I was never very good at getting away with girls because I was working or being with my family, but it's good to have some healthy girl time and get away, and that's just awesome. So, yeah, Premier has been so good for our marriage, and it's been so good, too, for us to pray together about our business as a family, and to pray for our jewelers and pray for our hostesses and our customers. And my daughter knows some of them by name, and she knows that we're praying for them for this or this or this, and that's so good for our kids to see us making prayer and serving others a priority. So I think that's number 3. Number 2, I did whatever my Premier Mama Gima, and Great Gima said. So you got to do whatever they tell you if you really want to go your business. And if you're thinking your Premier Mom isn't quite saying the best things, then go to your Premier Grandma or something, okay? Even though I don't think that at all, but you might think some of that. So, and basically it all boils down to, I think, 4 things that my Premier Mom, Gima, Great Gima says. So there's small things, which I love. Remember Michelle Obama's small things. 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is all part of number 2, do whatever your Premier Mom, Grandma, Great Grandma said. You will only be as successful, number 1, as the rallies, the trainings, the conference calls, the leadership clubs, the online trainings that you do. So you're only going to be as successful as the trainings you get yourself to. So, make training a priority. Go to them. Don't give yourself, I can't do that, I can't do that. Well, of course you can't, because you're telling yourself you can't. Number 2, you have got to have rock solid follow-through with people. Examine yourself. I had to examine myself. Okay, am I the person that's not making the deadlines? Am I the person that's saying to people, oh, I still meant to call you. Oh, I'm sorry I haven't got back to you yet. It's just that I've been so busy. Those are excuses. Get rid of those. You have to have rock solid follow through. And every person I talk to, whether it's for a show or for an OP or whatever, I tell them, would you like me to call you? And if they say yes, okay, I promise to call you only when you tell me to. So I make them tell me a time. I don't let them say, oh, whenever's fine. No, I promise to only call when you tell me to. Do you prefer this one, this date, or this date? And then I always open up my calendar and I write it down so they see it. And then you better call them. You have to be a woman of your word. You have to follow through. Now, do I occasionally make mistakes? Yes, we all do. We are human. But just examine yourself and ask yourself, am I the person, though, that's constantly saying, oh, I meant to call you, oh, I'm sorry, I meant to, oh, I missed that deadline. Because God is not going to bless you if you are not a woman or a man of your word. So number 3, consistency. You have to be consistent in your business. You always have to be looking 2 to 3 to 4 months down the road. And if you see that April is not looking good right now, then you bust up your booking activity, you get on the phone in January, and you make sure April's looking good. You've got to be planning 2, 3, 4 months ahead of time. Consistency in your business is so important. And number 4, don't ever give up. And I mentioned that already, but keep going, keep plugging away. The only difference between Robin Weller, 6, almost 7 times designer, and the person that quit is that the person quit and she didn't. So you just have to keep going because we're all going to go through seasons. I had lots of shows I started last year. I don't have quite as many now. I'm getting more no's or more, and not yet. So you just have to keep going and you have to be consistent. So that's all part of number 2. And now, number 1. This was the number 1 thing I think that we did. A wonderful jeweler in Premier a year ago told me, Kristen, I don't go home and I don't pray that God makes me successful. I go home and I pray that God makes me faithful. So I had to change the word success to the word faithful. So I had to take the focus off being successful because guess what? Success, we're not always going to know if we're being successful because God is working even when we don't know that He is, even when we can't see it. And in His eyes, we might be being really successful even though we don't see it. So take your focus off successful and take yourself on being faithful. So every night when I go to bed and I'm doing my devotions, I examine myself, and I'm not always good. Okay, was I faithful today? Was I faithful in my relationship with the Lord? Was I faithful at being, a good mom to my children? Was I faithful in my business? Did I call the people that I said I would call? Did I do those customer care calls at the 2-month? That's what I'm asking myself. Am I faithful? Because God blesses faithfulness in His time and in His way. And you're not always going to know that He's blessing you because He's working behind the scenes a lot. So you have to focus on being faithful, being in the Word, and not successful. The success will come. Leave the success to God. And again, I just want to encourage you to be rooted in the Word. Read the Bible every single day. Do I occasionally fall asleep when I'm reading it? Yes, so I'm not perfect, but I try. And that's okay, because we're all going to make mistakes and then just get right back up and try it. And then I want to leave with just a couple things from my devotional that my husband got me a really good deal a long time ago. Yeah, you like my sale there. And this is from a special woman that's very important in the Weller household. So, and I read this and I got another one little too. But it's called Obey and Be Blessed. Good people will have rich blessings, but the wicked will be overwhelmed. And that's from Proverbs 10:6. God gave us His commandments for a reason, so that we might obey them and be blessed. Elizabeth Elliot advised, obedience to God is our job. The results of that obedience are God's. These words should serve to remind us that obedience is imperative. But we live in a world that presents us with countless temptations to disobey God's laws. When we stray from God's path, we suffer. So whenever we are confronted with sin, we have clear instructions. We must walk, or better yet, run in the opposite direction. And Elizabeth Elliot says, God is God. Because He is God, He is worthy of my trust and obedience. I will find rest nowhere but in His holy will, a will that is unspeakably beyond my largest notions of what He is up to. And the last one also, I have a quote from Elizabeth Elliot, is choose Jesus Christ. Deny yourself, take up your cross, and follow Him. For the world must be shown. The world must see in us a discernible, visible, startling difference. And I just think it's so awesome that Premier was founded on that and that we can do that in our businesses. And then I want to close with this prayer because I think it's really cool. Dear Lord, my life and my words bear testimony to my faith. Make me a faithful servant of your Son and let my testimony be worthy of you. Let me share your good news, Lord, and let my actions point others to you. Amen. Thank you so much.